like these are different. So that different mark these things to be genetics. So the science of inheritance and variation. So total organism and particular population, they vary from each other. So that is because of gene. And when we're talking about the population of organism in any environment, I'm talking about an ecosystem we call gene frequency. For example, an Asiatic country, an African country, malaria is very obvious because their frequency is very high. As for the entomologically, insects have diversity because of their frequency and particular population. The third one, that is ecosystem. Ecosystem tells us the address of an organism. Ecosystem have structure and function unit which mark these to be an ecology. While if we are the part of environment, not from the part of environment, we live in a sphere. We live in a blue planet. We have a three sphere, very very important. For example, hydrosphere, the most abundant things in Earth. Earth, the most abundant thing you call that is hydrosphere. The second, even the first, you also call them atmosphere, air. We take air, we breathe. Well, lithosphere. So three sphere makes some sense. In that sense, you call a life here. So life is very diverse. So biodiversity have economic value. For example, when you have a forest have a very economic value. The forest is least to be 20%. 20%. Some countries have less than, so they are not going to pay the need. But some countries have a diverse in that forests. For example, Finland, they have more than 75%. While in Sweden, they have 70%. Wow, that's great. In Pakistan, we have 4.5%. And in China, we have 17%. While in India, they have 25%. So they can fail. And it is concerned. So forestry play very economic importance. Another value of biodiversity is culture value. For example, culture value. Here I observe the squirrel, the mammals. So they have a culture value. When you go to Australia, you will find the kangaroo. So they have a culture value because the kangaroo is only confined to Australia. While in the same patient, when you go to the New Zealand, you will find a kiwi. So it's only confined to that area. In Pakistan, the northwest of Pakistan, the Alpine Lake, when you go to the Chinese border, you'll find an animal which is called markhor, the only animal which is confined to that area. So they have a culture value. In Indus Valley, and you call them in the Indus River in Pakistan, you find blind dolphins. So they have also culture value. So very important here. A culture value is remarkable. I mentioned the animal like that, and you can of course mention plant too. So biodiversity, the left picture we are going to mention, we need to address these things because one-third of species, all species, they are going to be extinct. They are going to be in the process of extinction. This is question mark. 1.7 million species, they have a name. 1.7 million species have a name. So that is a taxonomic task that they have to give on. We have a diversity. Of course, when you go to the stable ecosystem like water, while when you go other hand, the worse ecosystem like tender erratic ecosystem is represented in one have very small ecosystem like small jar which have full of algae, that is called micro ecosystem. While the ecosphere, the world have a large ecosphere, so that is a huge macro ecosystem. Micro and macro ecosystems. So together we're talking about the environment. Environment actually the immediate surrounding of an organism. We have a process. For example, living, non-living, biotic, abiotic, biological, physical. So it's make a sense like that. So very important. I mentioned the ecosystem point of view because diversity are going to spirit in the three parameters. They have the three things. There must be species, gene, and ecosystem, because an ecosystem, you're talking about the habitat of an organism. Here, just me glance at all these things. Yes, this is fine. I know how the corner here. The lot of things we are going to mention about the habitat. There's organism, hereditary, other thing, a little bit salt factor, another thing, the quantities. I'm not going to pronounce all these things, but the most important thing, the habitat. The habitat means the dwelling place, even the address of an organism here. So a lot of diversity, even in this place is, some are gymnosperms, some are angiosperms, some are herbs, some are very complex like grasses, So this is called diversity. You know, even this diversity, this is, as you call them, it's going to be ecosystem, because this is interaction is here. A tree here hurts a tree, a lot of variation, the climate community, and that interaction, because at one hand plant produce oxygen, animal produce carbon dioxide, and these plant and animal keep the ecosystem to be balanced. So we need these things to be conserved. So we have the only key to conserve these things. We support the life here. So we need these things to we have to address the science like environmental sciences, restoration, ecology. Even you have to promote just like ecotourism, and together it will make sense. Bye for now.